Not a scheduled speaker, but I absolutely love and adore Steph and so admire her. And when I had an opportunity to come up here, I just really wanted to do it. I'm a patient, yes. I'm an activist. I'm also a businesswoman. For 25 years, I worked in the entertainment community, working with studios on marketing, product placement, and so forth. And then in 2006, I was diagnosed with cancer. I almost died and was denied a liver transplant, and then that's when I discovered the cannabis community.
Hey, all right.
I was always one of those people that felt that it was okay to stay behind the scenes and just send in my money now and again and just hope that somebody else did the work. And then when I got my diagnosis and I met Dr. Bob Malamede and I met Dr. William Conley and Dr. Donald Abrams and I learned how to save my life, this plant is a miracle. It changed my life. I apologize for being emotional. This is something that is so close to my heart. You just don't know.
We're all there.
We love you.
We love you. We're there.
I met Valerie Corral. That woman is as close to a saint as anybody I know. I used to think that cannabis consumers were stoners just like everyone else, and I bought into that myth that the mainstream would like to paint us as. And you know what? I remember working with Valerie, and I was shooting a lot of video footage, and I saw her work with the terminally ill, and I saw her literally bring a spirit and a light with those people that it touched my soul. I can't even explain it. I came back to California so I could have a legal garden and die with dignity.
Yeah.
The day that I found out that I was going to be denied a liver transplant, I was in the emergency room and I was on my way to the city council to speak. I had no idea what I was going to say, but when I was in the emergency room, the doctors asked me what meds I was on. And when I told them that I was using medical cannabis, that's when they told me that I would never be eligible for a liver transplant as long as I used medical cannabis. And the doctor literally, he pushed himself away from me. I felt dirty and I felt ashamed. And you know what? I looked over at my friend Fred. I said, we've got to get out of here. And I signed out against medical advice, and we drove down to city council. And that was the day I met Sarah Armstrong and Don Duncan. And that's when I heard about the work of Steph Shear. And I stood up there, and I remember I'd never spoken in front of city council before. And I was terrified, and all I knew was that people were dying. And these politicians aren't listening, and they weren't getting it. And I went up there, and I just let it out. And I let people know what was happening in my life. And that's when I learned that I wasn't alone. There were thousands of people like me, but they had already died. They can't speak for themselves. So I decided to tell the traditional medical community to go shut it. And I stopped the 27 pharmaceuticals that those doctors had. And I learned how to juice cannabis.
Yeah.
I learned how to cook with it.
Yeah.
I learned how to eat a raw food diet.
Yeah.
On my last CAT scan, the tumors are still there, but the malignancy is
Sure.
Today I'm able to work full-time after being bedridden and on an intravenous morphine pump. I worked for, I was the executive director for Beverly Hills Normal, for those of you who don't know. I did a lot of work with Normal, and I'm very proud of that work. And then I went on to be the director of celebrity media and public relations for Kush magazine.
Yeah.
And I think we did a lot of good work there, and I'm very proud of that. But there's some things going on now, but I've got to tell you something. I used to sit, and I remember down at the Long Beach rallies that I put together. My friends are in trouble down there, and they were threatened to lose all of the collectives there, and I love my clients. They become my friends and my family, and this community has become my friends and my family. I care so deeply, and I remember leading those rallies and feeling so helpless, and I remember thinking about George Soros and Peter Lewis and John Sperling and thinking, God, if I could just get the ear, if I could just get the ear of someone like that, or if we could somehow get President Obama and just let him really see, because I don't think they really want to hurt us. I just don't think they get it.
No.
I just don't think they get it. I don't think they really have any idea of who we are. And the truth of the matter is, we're not dirty hippies off in the corner, like trying to find a roach. You know, some of my best friends are hippies, and you know what? They're some of the coolest people I know. They're spiritual, they're fun, they live a free, authentic life, and I think that's admirable. And let me tell you something. My contract was up with Kush on the 15th, and I just signed a deal, and it's going to be announced this week with, believe it or not, Hearst Media. Hearst Media is seeing the light, you guys. They're starting a new cannabis media program, both online, print, television reality series, and they've asked me to lead it. I said, you know what, give me a percentage of it, let me still be an activist, and let me have control of the content, absolutely. And I'm going to leave you with one other thing. Remember how I told you I wish that someday I could get the ear of the George Soros, Peter Lewis, and John Sperlings of the world? Did any of you guys see me with that very handsome man yesterday?
I was
He just dropped into my life out of nowhere, and he's become my new best friend. And you know who he is? He's the political strategist and the guy who determines where those checks go from John Sperling, Peter Lewis, and George Soros. And I brought him up here because I told him, I said, baby, you need to get on the ground and see what we're doing, because this is the reality. And you know what? He was so moved. He said, Cheryl, you know what? I've been kind of disengaged since 2004, and you have inspired me. And seeing Steph on stage, you guys have inspired me. He said, you know what? I'm engaged. And he went out to Steph and he said, we've got to go after Obama. And he asked Steph, he said, are you in? She said, yeah. And you know what? Within the next few weeks, they're going to announce phase 2. They're just going to walk it. And we're all going to get to where we need to go, and I am proud to be a part of it. And I want to thank Steph for being such an amazing leader, and these people for being such an amazing leader.
Thank you, Cheryl.